Imagine a world where the smartest person in history was also one of the most secretive, angry, and competitive. This is the story of Isaac Newton, a man who changed our understanding of the universe, but who also struggled with his own demons. Newton's life was a mix of brilliance and bitterness, of groundbreaking discoveries and relentless battles over who deserved the credit. His work laid the foundation for modern science, but his personality often made him a difficult person to be around. This essay will take you on a journey through Newton's life, his discoveries, and the controversies that defined him. Isaac Newton was born on Christmas Day, 1642, in a small village called Woolsthorpe in England. His father died before he was born, and his mother remarried when he was 3, leaving him to be raised by his grandmother. This early separation from his mother left a deep emotional scar on Newton, which many believe contributed to his later personality. Despite these challenges, Newton showed a remarkable aptitude for learning from a young age. He was sent to the King's School in Grantham, where he excelled in his studies and developed a keen interest in mechanics and mathematics. By the time Newton was a teenager, his intelligence was already evident. He constructed models of windmills and other mechanical devices, demonstrating his ability to turn abstract ideas into practical inventions. However, his personality was also starting to show signs of the intense competitiveness and secrecy that would define his later life. Newton was known to be quiet and reserved, often preferring to work alone rather than collaborate with others. This trait would serve him well in his scientific endeavors, but would also lead to many conflicts. In 1661, Newton enrolled at Trinity College, Cambridge, where he was exposed to the latest ideas in science and mathematics. He studied the works of Galileo, Descartes, and Kepler, and began to develop his own theories. During the Great Plague of 1665, Cambridge University was closed, and Newton returned to Woolsthorpe. It was during this period of isolation that he made some of his most significant discoveries. He formulated the laws of motion and developed the calculus, a powerful mathematical tool that would revolutionize physics and engineering. He also began to explore the nature of light and color, conducting experiments that would lead to his theory of optics. One of Newton's most famous stories is the legend of the apple falling from a tree, which supposedly inspired his theory of gravity. While the story may be more myth than fact, it captures the essence of Newton's curiosity and his ability to see connections where others saw only chaos. Newton's theory of gravity explained how the same force that causes an apple to fall to the ground also keeps the planets in orbit around the sun. This idea, presented in his masterpiece, the Principia Mathematica, changed the way scientists understood the universe. It showed that the laws governing the motion of objects on Earth were the same as those governing the motion of celestial bodies. Despite his groundbreaking discoveries, Newton was reluctant to share his work with others. He was afraid that someone might steal his ideas, and he often kept his findings secret. This secrecy and his perfectionism meant that many of his discoveries were not published until much later. For example, his theory of calculus was not published until 1704, more than 30 years after he developed it. This delay led to a bitter dispute with the German mathematician Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz, who independently developed calculus and published his work first. The priority dispute between Newton and Leibniz became one of the most famous and acrimonious in the history of science. Both men accused the other of plagiarism, and the controversy lasted for decades. Newton's personality also played a role in his disputes with other scientists. He was known to be incredibly competitive and intolerant of criticism. When Robert Hooke, a fellow scientist, claimed that some of Newton's ideas on gravity were derived from his own earlier work, Newton reacted with fury. He went so far as to delete references to Hooke in his manuscripts, and refused to publish his book on optics until after Hooke's death. This behavior was not uncommon for Newton. He was often dismissive of other scientists' work, and was quick to take offense if he felt his ideas were being challenged. Despite his difficult personality, Newton's contributions to science were undeniable. He was elected a Fellow of the Royal Society in 1672, and later became its president in 1703. Under his leadership, the Royal Society became a leading institution for scientific research and discovery. Newton used his position to promote his own ideas and to assert his authority over the scientific community. He was known for his strict management style and his intolerance of dissent. He even had the power to influence the appointment of scientists to important positions, such as the directorship of the Royal Observatory. Newton's influence extended beyond the scientific community. He was appointed Warden of the Mint in 1696, and later became Master of the Mint, a position that gave him considerable political power and financial security. He took his role at the Mint seriously, working to improve the quality of coins and to combat counterfeiting. His efforts were so successful that he was knighted by Queen Anne in 1705, becoming Sir Isaac Newton. Despite his success, Newton's personal life remained troubled. He never married and had few close friends. His intense focus on his work often left him isolated and lonely. He was known to be erratic and unpredictable, and many of his contemporaries found him difficult to work with. His religious beliefs also set him apart from others. Newton was deeply religious and spent a significant amount of time studying the Bible and writing about religious topics. He was particularly interested in the prophecies of the Bible and believed that they contained hidden truths about the universe. However, his unorthodox views on religion and his interest in alchemy, a mystical and secretive form of early chemistry, were often seen as eccentric and even dangerous. Newton's legacy is complex. On the one hand, he is celebrated as one of the greatest scientists in history, whose work laid the foundation for modern physics and mathematics. His theories of motion and gravity, his development of calculus, and his insights into the nature of light and color have had a profound impact on science and technology. On the other hand, his difficult personality and his battles over priority and credit have left a darker side to his legacy. Newton's life is a reminder that even the greatest minds can be flawed, and that scientific progress is often accompanied by human drama and conflict. In the end, Newton's contributions to science are undeniable. His work changed the way we understand the universe and paved the way for future generations of scientists. But his life also serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of excessive competitiveness and the importance of collaboration and open communication in the scientific community. Newton's story is a reminder that while individual genius is important, the true progress of science depends on the collective efforts of many minds working together.